Hello and welcome to the Last Mixtape podcast. My name is Stephen White, and on this week's show, we delve into Peter Gabriel, Kate Bush, and their hit single Don't Give Up, and the magic of music. But first, there are songs that stay with you, not just because of their melody and lyrics, but because they offer something different, something unspoken. Don't Give Up by Peter Gabriel and Kate Bush is one such song. A duet unlike any other. It's not about love or heartbreak, it's about despair, it's about survival, and it's about the quiet strength of human connection. Peter Gabriel wrote Don't Give Up in response to an economic crisis. The 1980s were brutal for the working class. Entire industries collapsed, leaving thousands without work. This song emerged from that landscape, not as a protest anthem, but as a deeply personal response to hopelessness. Gabriel was inspired by Dorothy Lang's famous migrant mother photograph, an image that captured the quiet desperation of the Great Depression. That same exhaustion, that same weight, bleeds into every line of Don't Give Up. The verses feel like a man barely holding himself together. His voice, low, measured, never rising. There's no anger, no defiance, just resignation. Even the chord progression mirrors this, soft, descending, like something quietly folding in on itself. The bass line, subtle but heavy, adding some sense of weight. And then there's Kate Bush. Don't give up, you still have us. She doesn't try to lift him up with cliches. She doesn't tell him he'll be fine. She just repeats, don't give up, you're not beaten yet. Musically, her section is lighter, warmer synth pads, a gentle harmonic shift. It's subtle, but it feels like a hand reaching out from the dark. And that's the brilliance of it. Sometimes you don't need somebody to fix it. What you really need is somebody to stay and listen. What makes it so interesting is that voice that resonates with so much care and control throughout the entire song, Kate Bush's, was not the original voice Gabriel envisioned. Country music legend Dolly Parton was who he first had in mind to perform the track. But I think we can all agree when you hear Kate Bush's performance on this recording, it's absolutely perfect. Listening back on it now, Kate Bush's performance is irreplaceable, not just because of her voice, but also because of what she represented. An artist often described as bewitching, beguiling and ethereal, in Don't Give Up, Kate Bush becomes human, intimate and tangible in her performance and in her delivery. Throughout this song, she's not just singing to Peter Gabriel, she's holding him together. My earliest memory of Kate Bush wasn't this song. It was Wuthering Heights, and I was just a kid, sitting in front of the television, watching as this woman moved and sang like she wasn't quite human. It was an otherworldly experience. And I remember that awakening all too vividly. Sitting as a child, watching the television as a white beam of light went across the screen, and out of it grew Kate Bush. I thought she was some sort of good witch, or even, as my mum would say, she sang like a banshee, but to me it was beguiling and it was enthralling. It was the first moment I felt the true magic of music. There was something about her that didn't belong to this world, something outside the confines of my own home and my own situation. It was the otherworldly. It was something truly beguiling. Years later, I would go back to that voice in my own moments of darkness and despair. I would listen back to her records and to her music like it was a safe space, like it was a place for me to find that resolution, that comfort, that care. The music of Kate Bush became a constant, something that was my earliest memory and also my present. Her voice was comforting in and of itself. Much like the character in Don't Give Up, Kate Bush's voice is something soothing, something caring, and something that has held me together in those moments. Indeed, just like in Don't Give Up, it feels like listening to her voice is something we need to hear. Bowie and Mercury, Cave and Minogue, Cash and Carter. Most duets in popular music follow a formula. Passion, tension, romance. They're back and forth conversations, a give and take. But Don't Give Up? It's different. It's not a conversation. It's a lifeline. Gabriel sings from a place of complete hopelessness. And Bush, she doesn't counter his pain with solution. And maybe that's why this song still resonates so deeply all these years later. In a world that moves so fast, where responses are so quick, maybe having the time to be heard and to listen is all we need. Indeed, that's why I think this is one of the most perfect duets out there. As I said at the beginning, it's not about love or heartbreak, but it's something much deeper. That human connection, that need to feel heard. Don't Give Up is one of my favourite songs of all time, if you haven't got that from this video. Peter Gabriel's So is one of the great albums to my mind, and Kate Bush is one of the greatest artists of all time. Her music has affected me throughout my entire life, and one day we will talk a little bit deeper about Wuthering Heights or one of her tracks in an upcoming episode. But Peter Gabriel and Kate Bush are for me the perfect connection and the perfect team for this song. The music itself is otherworldly, its rhythms are beautiful, its melodies so considered. The production, as like with much of So, is such strong thematic and stylistic backbone to it. The way the music connects, the way these two characters connect, is not something I've heard in many songs before or since. In the video, they hold each other close as they spin around in the performance, taking turns and taking the voice from each other. They hold each other whilst Peter Gabriel kind of feels almost stiff, almost kind of immovable in the moment, while Kate Bush buries her head into him. I'd like to take a special moment as well to signal Beth Roars, whose YouTube channel reacts to all sorts of songs kind of from a vocalist point of view, really breaks down this song in a way that I can't vocally or performance wise, but it is a quite beautiful video and you should definitely check it out. And I think it also talks about that connection, how through their voices and their timbre and their performances, they both equate and play these roles so perfectly. Don't Give Up, as I say, is a song about connection. It is a song that is exactly what its title says. It's about not giving up. It's about feeling that music has an ability to save us. I do believe that great art can save us. And to steal yet another line from Josh Johnson, who's a great stand-up comedian who's been doing lots of videos on the Kendrick Lamar situation, did an incredible one most recently about the halftime show himself, where he spoke about that. He spoke about how art can save lives and how art has that meaning to kind of connect with us, where entertainment doesn't have the same thing. Don't Give Up is a piece of art made by two of the great artists of our time, Peter Gabriel and Kate Bush, and it is a music that stands the test of time. So it goes, and there it went. But before I go, thank you for listening, viewing and watching the Last Mixtape podcast here on YouTube, Apple and indeed on Spotify. If you want to get in touch with the Last Mixtape podcast, please email me at stephen@thelastmixtape.com and I will respond to your correspondence in due course. But for now, that was the Last Mixtape podcast. I was Stephen White. You were the listener. Hey, so long.